Oh, hey, how you doing? Don't mind me, I'm just taking a look at my newly obtained complete and then some collection of Kirby Planet Robobot playing cards. You know, you didn't think these existed, right? Well, they do, and I own them. Hell yeah. So we are here once again, everybody. Nintendo has released another Kirby game for the world to see, and this time we have Kirby Battle Royale for the 3DS. I would have covered this game before, a ton of people were begging me for it, but America didn't get this game until like 2 months after everybody else. Maybe it's payback for the whole epic yarn pants situation.
This grass feels funny, Kirby thought. It feels like pants.
It feels like trousers.
Believe it or not, Kirby Battle Royale is the 8th Kirby game released for the 3DS. 8th. Yeah, it's 8. 8 of them. You got Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot, their respective sub-games turned full games on the eShop, as well as the updated version of Kirby's Adventure, also on the eShop. Nintendo went absolutely crazy with the pink puffball for this handheld. I mean, I'm not saying I'm complaining here or anything, but still. Damn. And now, like Mass Attack before it, Battle Royale comes out at a time where people have already kinda moved on to the next Nintendo console, which does have a proper Kirby game coming out in roughly 2 months, and boy am I really excited for Star Allies. This is just a title to beef up the 3DS's overall library before it's all said and done. And since I am the Kirby guy after all, may as well see what they're tossing at me. Plays only in 2D, huh? Well, so much for that whole 3D thing. In a nutshell, while Kirby Battle Royale is kinda marketed as this large fighting game, in reality, it's a mini-game collection. So here's how things work. There is a total of 10 different games, and rather than Kirby taking advantage of his ability to copy things, you select from a bunch of preset abilities that all have their own unique, but very simple 2-button movesets. You can also unlock Waddle Dee, Meta Knight, and King Dedede as playable characters too, and that's just kinda neat. And to just quickly run down the list of games here, there's Battle Arena, which is a pretty basic free-for-all fight. Apple Scramble is a team-based game where you knock apples off of mini wispy woods and try to score as many as possible. Coin Clash has you collecting coins while avoiding money-draining ghosts. Attack Riders has you collecting chips and getting to operate a vehicle that can slam into your opponents to make them drop chips. Crazy Theater is sort of a WarioWare-styled mode where you complete mini objectives to gain points. Rocket Rumble has you collecting fuel to fill up a rocket ship. Robo Bonkers has you attacking, well, Robo Bonkers. Slam Hockey has you try to knock your rivals out with a really big hockey puck. Ore Express has you collecting stacks of ore to toss into train cars. And finally, Flag Ball tasks you with bringing your colored ball to your opponent's flag before they can do the same to you. They're all incredibly simple, and while it sounds kind of impressive having 10 competitive games in one package, sadly, they're not really all that engaging. They typically only last about a minute or two, and then you just move on. Most of the games also feel surprisingly similar to others. Apple Scramble, Coin Clash, Rocket Rumble, and Ore Express just have you running around and picking up as much stuff as possible while knocking down what your opponents are holding. And Battle Arena, Attack Riders, and Robo Bonkers are just these button mashing fests with only slightly different rules. So then, that only leaves Crazy Theater, which to be fair is often another button mashing fest, Slam Hockey, which, you know what, is actually kinda fun and pretty hectic, and Flag Ball, which is easily the best game in this entire package, and I really hope it shows up in a future Kirby game, because, oh man, it's really fun. That's not to necessarily say that these games aren't enjoyable, but there's just not enough there to encourage a lot of replays. So ultimately, it really just boils down to Battle Arena, Slam Hockey, and Flag Ball being the top 3. Those are still pretty fun no matter how you spin it, the others are just kinda there. In my humble opinion, at least. And really, the biggest problem in all of this is there really isn't any sort of glue to hold these games together. You see, it's the same reason why a game like Mario Party The Top 100 can fail, despite it having content that fans enjoy. When you just have open access to all of the minigames without really any incentive to play them over and over, then there's no real incentive to play the game itself. There is a story mode, but it's really nothing too special. King Dedede is hosting a tournament, the Cake Royale, and the duo of Kirby and Bandana Waddle Dee enter it to win the tasty cake at the end. Naturally, Dedede has ulterior motives, and is using a machine to create clone Kirbys to take the main hero down. So, wait a second, somehow the king has a real-life Kirby generator? I want one. I guess he just needs an enemy to clobber that there Kirby. And then you just play the minigames over and over again, racking up points to climb up the different ranks, ending with, spoilers, a fight against King Dedede. Who would have saw that coming? Kirby gets the cake that he was after, credits. And it only takes about 4 to 5 hours to get through. While playing this mode, I was getting some sort of flashbacks to the old Mario sports RPGs back on the Game Boy days, but really, those had a lot more depth than this. There is also online play at the very least, and it does confirm that, when played with actual people, some of these games are indeed fun. Flagball with a group of 4 people who know what they're doing, it's actually kind of awesome. I have no idea how long this game's online community will last, considering it's the year 2018, I figure most of us are moving on at this point. And this next part is incredibly baffling. You can't play with friends online. There's only ranked play. How did they make that much of a misstep? But hey, if you do find the game fun, there are some collectibles to spend in-game currency on, like you got some new abilities, access to some of the games in free play mode, and some headgear that features a dose of fan service. Like you got the Ultra hats from Return to Dreamland, a Daroche hat, which I really didn't see that one coming, masked King Dedede, which is always cool to see, and And as it turns out, there is actually a QB costume from Box Boy, but it's restricted behind the amiibo that never left Japan, and if you want to import it, it's currently like at least $50. That's cool. The soundtrack isn't even all that great either, and that's something that you normally don't say with a Kirby game. I don't know, man, I guess they were too far in development to push this game to the Switch, but even still, the best part of the entire package is the King Dedede remix used for the final boss. The most interesting tidbit is this is the first spin-off to receive a physical print in roughly 15 years, and the most depressing thing is it is the second underwhelming Kirby title in a row from a series where, up until recently, every single game has been some level of great. That trend is broken. So help me if Star Allies isn't good. And with that, everybody, that is now 2 Kirby reviews back to back, where we end things on a bit of a down note. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't want to do that. Well, at least Kirby Star Allies is shaping up to be awesome. It's combining 2 things that I currently love: Kirby, and even more games for the Nintendo Switch. Perfect, that is a great combo for me. But until we get there, I found another Kirby game on my shelf that I think we can take a look at. It's weird, I don't know how I passed it. It features a yellow Kirby instead of a pink one, that's kind of weird. And, oh, that's not Kirby. Why not?